And welcome here, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pictou County Wellness Center for this game between the Hunters and the Crushers. This is Game 3 in their playoff series. If Weeks win tonight, they will move on to the second round of U18 playoffs. If the Hunters win, they will push things to Game 4. Back in their home rink. Puck drop for the first period is about to be underway. And here we go. Weeks win it back off the draw to Sullivan. Sullivan trying to flip that one up, and it'll go into the Hunters bench. Sorry, folks, having some tripod issues here. There we are. One back into the Weeks end. Sullivan chasing. Now Kidd working his way in with some speed. He'll get held to the corner there. Hunters trying to break out. Beliveau on Crosstail, but Cross still gets the dump in. And it's played out to the neutral zone. Baldwin throwing that behind Jake Thorne, who's in between the pipes tonight for the Weeks. Flipped out. Kept in by Swift in the slot there. A shot goes high. Beliveau looking for the rebound. That play's broken up. Croft will get this out and down into the Hunter zone. Worth chasing. Weeks will get some fresh legs. Swift playing it back. Worth making his way through into the neutral. He'll fly it high into the Weeks zone. Williams trying to play this one up. Returns to the reverse hit there to Worth. Battling in the corner. Sim trying to get his stick in there. It'll go up the boards. Ethan Frazier trying to push through. Up at the line, Boudreau fans on the first shot. He'll push it in. Another shot, that one goes wide into the open corner. And that puck will fly up and hit the netting. We'll get a stoppage in play here. Both teams will get some fresh legs out here. Draw in the Weeks end. Hunters looking to set something up and strike first. One back to the line. Ludi trying to keep this one in, but it'll sneak out. Now the Weeks have a chance to regroup. A nice pass to McIntosh there. McIntosh trying to get his way into the slot. Taken down. McAkron racing at it. Can't get there as this one's pushed through by Kalita. Let's try to break this one out. McAkron moving it. Pugsley to McIntosh. McIntosh working his way in. Flip into Vertram in the slot. And it's covered up there. And we will get a stoppage in play in the Hunter zone. Draw here. Green couldn't get that one back fully. Now Gibbs the other way, dumping that one in, and a huge hit from Sullivan in front of the Weeks bench onto Gibbs. And Sullivan clears it down. That will be a Weeks icing in between the pipes tonight for the Hunters. So Shaughnessy Mitchell will take the draw here against Green in the Weeks zone. Green wins it back to Sullivan, moving it around to Tanner. Tanner getting tripped up there, and the Weeks will head to a power play here momentarily as Green has possession. He'll work his way in, and it's touched there by Mitchell. So now a power play coming to the Weeks, a chance for them to strike first as Morris heads to the box for tripping. Sim moving this around the back of the Hunter zone, up to Kidd. Kidd moving that to McKenzie at the line. McKenzie back to Kidd. Can't get his stick on that one, a little bit far ahead. It'll go back up, and the Hunters clear it down to the weak zone. Thorne playing it behind the net. Going the other way now, McKenzie to Sim. Sim playing it into the slot there for Frazier, but that's broken up. Frazier almost blew tie there. It's up to Sim at the line. McKenzie to Kidd. Kidd working his way through, back to McKenzie. Back to Kidd. They switch sides. Kidd will walk in. Play down deep for Frazier into the slot, and that one goes just wide. Ludi trying to clear it. Kidd with the defensive play to keep it in. He'll take a toe drag in for Frazier. Sim with the rebound, and it'll flip out of O'Shaughnessy's glove up to McKenzie at the line. Plays it back into Frazier with a shot on. A pad save there. Frazier moving that one. Kidd walking in, a shot, and he scores! Nathan Kidd will strike first for the Weeks. And this one will be 1-0. Kidd always a threat when he is on the ice, especially on the power play, as he snipes this one home for the first goal in Game 3. Cluitt getting this one back for the Hunters. Ringed around the board to Swift in the corner. Swift trying to clear this one. It'll exit out. Sullivan has it in the neutral. Handing it off for McCachran. Back to Sullivan. Back to McCachran. Looking for an option. That one's played back by Beliveau, who gets it. Drop pass to Swift. Swift trying to play it in. Pugsley shuts him down. And McCachran gets it. McIntosh moving it to White, who hands it back to Sullivan. Sullivan trying to bring this one in. Hit a couple times there by Cluitt. Now in behind the Hunters bench. Pugsley in front for McIntosh. And a pad save there from O'Shaughnessy. And now Cluitt the other way. McCachran, the only man back, a shot on. Rebound. Sticking out. Pugsley will pick it up and take it the other way. Pugsley walking in, a shot on. And a stick save there. Swain picking it up along the boards. Handing it off for Kidd, who will go down there and will get another penalty coming to the Hunters here. As Thorne runs to the bench. Croft has it. He'll circle back in his own zone. Looking for an option. Hands it back to Kidd. Kidd back for Sim. Sim will start this play up. Into the neutral. Sim walking in. Nice move there. Shot on. And that one goes wide on the backhand. Swain trying to play it up. Burcham. Over to Tanner with a shot on. Pad save there. Swain picking up the rebound. Swain. Up to Kidd, back to Swain. He'll try and play it over. Hunters still haven't gotten possession, and that one almost goes in off the back of O'Shaughnessy. Kidd at the line. Playing it over to Tanner. Tanner walking in, and it's picked up there by Cluitt. And the whistle will finally go as the Weeks head to yet another power play here early in the first period. Baldwin getting served the penalty this time around. Draw here in the Hunters zone. McKenzie playing it over to McCachran as it's back for Kidd now. Up for Sim. Sim grabbing that one. He'll cross red and dump it in. And on the corner for Gibbs, who's trying to play it up. Kid's there. Kid at the line. A nice move. Looking for an option. Throws it in for Sim with the tip that goes just high. Kid keeping it at the line again. Moving it over to Williams. Williams in for McKenzie. He'll walk into the slot, handing it over. Passes intercepted there by Gibbs. Move back to Williams at the line. He'll take a shot. And a blocker save from O'Shaughnessy. And the net came off there. We'll get a stoppage in play with just a minute 15 left on the Weeks power play as they look to extend their 1-goal lead. Draw here, being taken by Croft. Push through, back to Tanner. Tries to keep that in with a stick poke. Back for Conlon. Circling into the zone. He'll cut back on the right board. Conlon moving it up to Bircham. Bircham with a shot on, a pad save. Pugsley along the boards, gets it to Bircham. Bircham looking for an option. Down in for Tanner with the 1T and a pad save there again. Ludi trying to get this one out. And it'll sneak by Bircham and down the length of the ice. Thorne into the net to make a play. Bircham working it back up to Tanner. In the zone, in the slot for Croft. It's back for Tanner in his own end, picking it up behind his net. Frazier rushing in. He'll cut in the corner. Back for Croft. Croft battling for it. A shot on, and it's hit in front. Hunter's trying to clear it. And now Baldwin, who's fresh out of the box, will bring it into the weak zone. Try to cut around White. He's taken down, and now we will get a Weeks penalty coming up. This one being served to White for holding. Draw one back to Baldwin at the line. For Clue, a shot on, blocked in front by Sullivan. That one stung, favoring that right leg, giving it a shake. Hopefully that'll be okay. Baldwin starting the breakout for the Hunters here. Baldwin skating through. A couple nice moves there, stopped by Sullivan to McIntosh, who will play this one out down the length of the ice. Swift taking him out behind his net. He'll move it up. Poked through there by Gibbs. Trying to get it up deep into the weak zone. Swift keeping it in at the line. Moving over to Baldwin. Baldwin a shot on. Blocked in front by Sullivan once again. Baldwin to Swift. Swift to Cluett. Cluett back skating. Gives it back to Swift on the opposite side. Swift. Baldwin. Cluett a shot, blocked in front by Sullivan again as he goes rolling down, and it's cleared out by Frazier. What a shift from Tyler Sullivan. Trying to move this one through. Hunter's dumping it in. Cluett in there battling, as well as Martin. It's moved to Bircham. Bircham working his way out of the weak zone. He'll throw it in to the Hunters' end. Sim chasing as it's moved to Worth. Worth making a pass up to Beliveau. Beliveau handing it off for Ludi, who walks in with speed into the slot. Rebounds alive, and it'll jump out. Worth with the 1T. Stays out again, and it's covered up by Thorne. Draw here in the weak zone. Just 3 seconds left on their penalty. One back by Williams. McKenzie moving it up the boards, trying to get it to White, who's out of the box. But it gets caught up in Ludi, who picks it up, and he'll take it back into the neutral. Ludi playing it off the boards. Down in behind Thorne, a big hit there from Williams. Now up, Worth can't reach that one. It'll go down the length of the ice. Eisner racing for it. O'Shaughnessy playing that one up to Worth. Pass intercepted there by Conlon. It goes down into the weak's end. Tanner to McKenzie. McKenzie back to Tanner. Trying to play that one up to Conlon. Swift walking in now. Eisner breaks that up. And Urquhart can't get a stick on it. Dumped in there to the weak zone by the Hunters. Thorne out to make a play off for Tanner. Around the boards to Eisner, who reaches it. Gets it over. Green can't handle that one. McKenzie playing it back into the open corner. He'll go for it. To Tanner behind the net once again. Tanner to Eisner along the boards, who gets it down. Conlon racing. And that one goes back to Kalita with a stretch pass to Urquhart. But it goes down the length of the ice for an icing against the Hunters. We're past the 10-minute mark, so the players will take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment with the second half of the first period. And welcome back here, folks. After a short break, we're back to play the rest of the first period. 8:50 left to go. One on. A shot there right off the draw from White that stays out. Pugsley trying to bring it back in, but it's moved by Kalita. Urquhart dumping that in. Big hit there in front. Or I thought he dumped it in. The puck is in play in front of the bench. And they'll stop it here. So Urquhart can have a chance to get up there. Draw here will be just outside the Hunter zone. Dumped in by Gibbs to the weak's end. Tanner racing for it. He'll get there first and hit on. Hunters keep it in. Boudreau going around for it. And it's up to the line. And they can't keep it in. Goes down into the Hunters' end. O'Shaughnessy trying to play it here. Frazier picking that, or Conlon, picking that up. Getting it up to the line. McCachran. Back into the corner, Frazier into the slot, a shot on from Conlon, goes wide. Sullivan trying to dump this one in. Sim behind the Hunters net in front for the slot. Shot there, blocked. Conlon, Frazier in the slot, is shut down, and it's kept in there. Sim, Frazier, and that pass is blocked. Gibbs will pick it up and clear it off the glass. And Boudreau will race for it in the corner. Sullivan shutting him down. McCachran going the other way with it now, moving it to Conlon. Conlon flips it high and in to the Hunters' end. He'll head off for a change. Now moving the other way, Baldwin gets across red and dumps it into the weak zone. To McKenzie. By Laveau trying to push it through. Swain handing it off for Kidd. That one's poked ahead a little bit by Cluett. Kidd racing at it and hits Ludi into the board there in the corner. To McKenzie at the line. McKenzie playing that back in with a big hit there. Kidd, shot on. Hits off the head of O'Shaughnessy to Swain behind the net. Back to Kidd on the boards. Back to Swain. To McKenzie. A shot on and a pad save. And now Cluett will try and bring it the other way. Getting across red and dumping it into the weak zone. Croft along the boards. Getting this one to Green. Green shut down there. Croft still grabs it and throws it in. Swift playing that one around for Beliveau in their own zone. Beliveau looking for an option, plays it off the boards, trying to get it to Baldwin, but that one's intercepted. Now Tanner crossing red, bringing it the other way for the Weeks, hands it back for Frazier. Frazier fans the pass there. And now the Hunters will go the other way. Trying to battle for it. Morrison there, excuse me. Bertram behind the net. Battling for it. And it's moved up now. Eisner trying to get it in. Thrown right back in by Morris. Into the corner. Hunters have possession. Turned over there. Tanner. Martin trying to push it through. And it's broken up by Frazier. Tries to get it to Eisner. Another great play there by Martin, who dumps it in on the backhand. Bertram moving it to Green, who tries to toe drag into the neutral. Picked up there by Bertram, flipping it in and chasing after it. O'Shaughnessy playing that one. Now moving it out to White. Intercepted there, now going the other way. Hunters are in, a shot on, and blocked in front. Now the other way, Weeks giving it to Pugsley. Pugsley working his way in, a pass, shot on. Rebounds alive in front, and White almost flips it in. It goes wide. Pugsley in the corner. Moving that one into the slot. McKenzie a shot. Blocked in front. White going for the rebound along the boards. He'll get there. Playing it down in deep for Pugsley. To McIntosh, who's hit off that one. Now the Hunters will start to break it out. As it's flipped up high there. Back for McKenzie in his own zone. Now White with it. Has a little room. A shot on. Blocked in front. A big block, from Boudreau. White in the corner, getting it to Pugsley. Pugsley up to the line for McKenzie. McKenzie to Sullivan. Sullivan with a shot on, blocked in front there. Goes off Kidd. Now Urquhart the other way. Getting it over to Kalita. That's intercepted and shut down. McKenzie battling for it in the corner. Still trying to push it through. McKenzie. Getting it to McIntosh, who throws it into the open ice. Picked up there by Sim. Moves it back to Sullivan. To Frazier, who tips that one in to the zone. Sim trying to push it through. It'll sneak out to the neutral for Williams, who hands it back to Tanner. Now moving in. Conlon off for Sim. Shot on. Gloved up there by O'Shaughnessy, and we'll get our first stoppage in play in quite a little bit. 3:29 left to go. Draw here in the Hunter zone. Sim against Cluett. We'll battle for it. Sim gets it back for Conlon. Conlon putting it down into the opposite corner. Ludi's there. He'll give it to Beliveau, who misses that one. But it's back for Baldwin. Baldwin to Swift. Swift in the corner, moving that one up to Beliveau, who dumps it in. Frazier goes for the hit. Now Williams in the corner. Throws that one down. I apologize, I didn't have the scoreboard updated there. It is 1-0 Weeks if you're tuning in just now. Williams moving that into the corner of the Weeks end, playing it around to Frazier. And that one sneaks out past Boudreau. Ludi dumping it right back in. Frazier trying to flip this one up high to Conlon. Conlon walking in, a shot on. Hits a body in front and goes high into the glass. Sim will chase the rebound. Dumping it in. He's hit there by Cluett and Baldwin. Tanner flipping that one into the neutral for Frazier. He backhands that one in, and he'll go off for a change. The Weeks will get some more fresh legs. Swain battling for it in the corner. Has Worth on him. Swain pushing through. He'll get taken down there. It's back. McAkron trying to reach it. Burcham slaps at it to get it back through. Burcham trying to get there, and he'll make a toe drag move to bring it in to the Hunter zone. Passing that over, a shot on. Blocked in front by Worth. Martin trying to get it out. McAkron at the line with a shot, and it hits the mask of O'Shaughnessy again. Croft behind the net. Poking at that one. Worth gets it, however. Tries to get it out. McAkron's there to hold it in. Playing it back to Swain. Swain fanning on that one. And now Urquhart the other way with Boudreau. 2-on-1 to Boudreau. Shot on. And that one T goes just wide. Burcham flipping it up high and in. Swift will chase. No icing on this play. Move back in. Boudreau going for a second chance at it. He's shut down. Sullivan picking it up. Sullivan gets that one up, and it'll go into the Weeks bench. Almost hitting John Sim there. He had to duck from that one. .102 left to go here in this first frame. Weeks lead by 1 as the draw is in their zone. Can the Hunters set something up here? Late in the first, Gibbs into the slot. Loses that one. Swift at the line with a shot on. Gloved up by Thorne. Another draw here in the Weeks zone. Up to the line for Ludi. Takes a shot on. Pad save there. Urquhart pulling it down in deep for Mitchell. But Pugsley intercepts that pass. Gets it to McKenzie, and the Weeks will break out now. McKenzie to McIntosh. Playing that over. McKenzie in the neutral. Makes contact there with White. Gibbs has no stick. As Swift tries to play it through. Down onto Thorne. Intercepted there. McKenzie laying the hit. Now Pugsley poking it over to McIntosh. They'll go the other way. McIntosh. Back. Pugsley a shot and a blocker save. Flipped up high by Gibbs and down the length of the ice. It'll be a Hunter's icing. Very busy weekend here at the Pictou County Wellness Center. Things just wrapped up on the 2026 Bantam Memorial Tournament. Winners of the A division, or double A division, were the Penguins, who won in double overtime. It was a great game to watch. If you're interested in watching that, it'll be on the High Button Tournaments YouTube channel. Now in the corner, Worth trying to flip it out. Conlon a shot on, and that one almost sneaks in. Pugsley at the line, throws it. And that goes high, and that will bring us to the end of the first period as Frazier almost tips it in at the buzzer. But it'll stay 1-0 as we head into the second. We'll take a quick break. We'll have a flood, and we'll be back in just a moment with the second frame. And welcome back here, folks, to the second period of this matchup between the Weeks and the Hunters. A big game here for the Hunters. If they lose this one, they will be eliminated from the playoffs. They win it, they push it to game 4. Puck drop for the second period is about to be underway. Weeks leading 1-0. And here we go. Weeks win it back. Tanner can't get his stick on that one. He'll have to backtrack for it in the Weeks end. Moving it up to Swain, who gets it to Croft. Croft to Swain in the slot. A shot on, and that one was just high. Croft, another shot, and another save from O'Shaughnessy. Beliveau trying to play this one out. Gets it to Baldwin. Intercepted there by Sullivan. Tries to get it to Swain. Swain with a nice play there. Gets it to Croft. Croft in, a shot on. Rebound pops back out, and it's cleared out to the boards there. Now the other way, Baldwin going. Cuts back, walking into the slot. Down in deep for Beliveau, and a shot just high there off the shoulder of Thorne. Cluett. Almost hit off that one, lost track of the puck. Swain will pick it up and backhand it to Croft. To Kidd. Kidd, shot on. Another save from O'Shaughnessy. Ludi playing that back around for Boudreau. Boudreau getting it to Beliveau. Beliveau will dump that into the Weeks end. Williams chasing. Williams firing that down the length of the ice. And the Weeks beat off the icing. Sim giving it to Frazier. Intercepted there, kept in by Williams. Into the corner for Sim. Sim getting it, back to Williams. McKenzie in the slot for Frazier. For Sim, trying to get a shot off, blocked in front. Boudreau going the other way, trying to get it to Martin. Intercepted there. Now it's Frazier going the other way into the slot. Almost hit off that one. Can't get the shot off there. Thanks to the Hunters defense. Now moving it. Frazier down in for Conlon. A shot. And that one's just wide as he tried to play it in off the right post along the ice there. And a big hit there by Williams. Played in the slot. Boudreau can't get the shot off. And a 1T blocked in front. It'll go up and hit the netting. 2 of this month's stars of the U18 League are playing in this game. First star, Jaden Croft, who has 16 points in his last 7 games for the Weeks. And the second star, Baldwin, who's been playing great, one of the most important players to the Hunters offense. He has 12 points in 7 games. That's Jack Baldwin. And it looks like the Hunters are going to get a power play here. There's a little confusion amongst the players, but Williams heads to the box. So a chance for the Hunters to tie things up here and get on the board. White with it. He'll clear it down the length of the ice there. Hunters with the puck behind O'Shaughnessy. Now Ludi getting it to Martin. A little bit behind, but he gets it off the wall. Martin trying to bring it in. Back for Cluett. Into the corner for Martin. He'll walk into the slot, trying to get it over to Baldwin. Intercepted there. Baldwin battling for that one. Trying to get this one out. Frazier couldn't get it. Dumped in. Or excuse me, that's McIntosh, not Frazier. Baldwin at the line. Poked away by White. McIntosh trying to clear, and he'll get it down the length of the ice. O'Shaughnessy with that puck, hands it back to Baldwin. White almost loses his footing there. Baldwin heading the other way. Getting it to Martin. Martin, his pass blocked in front by Sim, who forces it out to the neutral. Now White the other way. Dumps that in, or excuse me, uses the boards to play it back to Sullivan. Sullivan. Pass there, intercepted by Baldwin, who's hit down by Sim. Swift. Giving it to Cluett. Cluett will bring it into the weak zone. Sullivan trying to hold him to the wall. A shot on. Martin almost throws the rebound in off the backhand. It was blocked in front. Baldwin a shot. Rebound's alive. Up to Cluett. Cluett looking for an option. Baldwin fakes the 1T and tries to get it in. Sim intercepts that, and he'll go the other way with Frazier. Sim curling, back for Frazier, intercepted there by Baldwin. And he'll get it out to the neutral, picking it up, McCachran. Firing it back in to the Hunters zone. Urquhart has that one. Just 5 seconds left on the Hunters power play. And that'll end it there, as they're battling along the boards in the Hunters zone. Played around. Belleville trying to get there. Intercepted by Green. Ludi and Belleville in there, trying to get the puck out into their possession. It'll go for Kidd with a shot that goes off the post. Tries to snipe it short side, top right. Kidd into the slot. Croft a shot on, blocked by Swift there. Now Belleville playing this one down to Urquhart, who can't get the puck on his stick. It'll get tipped into the corner. Bircham playing it for Croft along the boards. Croft handing it for Kidd. Kidd skating his way in. He'll cut back, giving it to Croft into the slot. A nice move there. He'll cut back into the corner. Kidd, and a save there. Croft trying to throw this one in. A couple big saves from O'Shaughnessy. McKenzie, shot on, tipped in front and cleared out of the way. Kidd to McKenzie. Over to Bircham. Another shot, and it's covered up in front. We'll get a stoppage in play here. Draw one back, trying to play it out to Sullivan. It's up the boards, excuse me. Sullivan along the wall, the shot on, goes just wide there. Tanner will keep it in on the opposite side. Now into the corner. McIntosh playing it in front, and a shot on by Eisner just misses. McIntosh feeding it off. Conlon, shot goes wide there. Tanner picking it up along the boards. He'll throw it into the corner. Eisner couldn't get his stick on it. Battling for it is McIntosh. He'll get tied up with Worth. Eisner in there as well. Trying to push this one out. Conlon trying to get a shot off there. And it stays in play. Sullivan throwing that one in behind the net for Eisner. It'll bounce over his stick to Conlon. Picked up by McIntosh to Tanner at the line. He'll throw it on net. Rebound almost bounced in through the 5-hole. It stayed out. And we'll have a stoppage in play here as there is a situation going on in the neutral zone. And it looks like Boudreau might be heading to the box here. Boudreau trying to plead his case to the referee. As Tanner heads to the box as well, it will stay 5-on-5. And they'll do some chatting in the penalty box there. Probably sharing their Super Bowl predictions. I cracked myself up. Now pushing through is Gibbs, trying to get it to trying to beat Williams to it. Williams gets there and tries to move it back up. Dumped in by Swift. Now Williams bringing this one out into the neutral. Nice move there. Walks in, a shot on. Glove save from O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy seeing a huge number of shots right now for just starting the second period. He's already seen 19 shots and has saved 18 with Thorne only facing 5 thus far. Quite the big difference there, but on the scoreboard, it doesn't say the same thing. This one is a close game. McKnight battling, trying to get this one out. Frazier chops it down out of the air, but McKnight picks it back up. McKnight handing it over. Kalita trying to play it back in the slot. Intercepted there by Conlon. Gibbs with a 1T slapper. Kidd bringing this one out. Over to Conlon, and we're going to get a penalty here against the Hunters. And a little jab. jab there from Swift on the Williams. I think we're going to see Kalita. We're going to get a penalty here against the Hunters. And a little jab there from Swift on the Williams. I think we're going to see Kalita. 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 I think we're going to head to the box here for slashing on to Nathan Kidd. Or no, it'll be Boudreau. And it's a 2 for head contact. So Weeks will head back onto the power play here with 12:56 left to go. Draw one back by Cluett, trying to get this one out. Weeks have possession now. It's Sim. Sim to the line for McKenzie. McKenzie to Kidd. Kidd back to McKenzie. Back to Kidd. He'll back skate and play it in deep for Williams. Into the slot for McKenzie with a one-timer, and it's saved in front there. Williams keeping this one in. To Frazier, to McKenzie. Back to Williams, a shot. Blocker save. Kidd in the corner. Williams to McKenzie. Cuts back around on the boards there. Playing it in deep. Sim. Shot on. And a blocker save once again. Beliveau trying to get there. It's moved up to Williams. Williams, another shot. Pad save. Frazier in front. And this one will try to get played out by Worth. Kidd keeping it in. Kidd walks right in. Hands it back to Sim. Sim to Williams. Back to Sim. Shot. And this one's wide onto the glass. Ludi trying to get it out here. And Cluett will throw it down in. Battling forward in the corner. Burcham behind the Weeks net. Just 30 seconds left on their power play. Williams fans on the first pass, gets it over to Burcham. Burcham feeding Frazier in the neutral, back to Williams. Williams skating through now. Hands over to Kidd. Another shot. Shoulder save. Tries to go for the wraparound. He'll go down. Reaching for it. And we're going to get a penalty here. Williams will head to the box for holding against Martin. So, no longer a Weeks power play. It'll be 4-on-4 for just 6 seconds. And then the Hunters have 1:54 to try and tie things up here as we head into the midway. Don't mind me, folks, the midway point of this second period. It's been a weekend full of hockey for me, so if I mess up some words, some players' names, don't judge me. Trying to play this one in. Sullivan behind the Weeks net. Playing it around. McCachran couldn't get his stick on it. It's up for Swift. That one will sneak out into the neutral zone for him. Playing it over. Gibbs. Feeding that one in. It goes past Cluett. And for Sullivan, he'll try and clear. Kept in the neutral by Swift there. Better than it going down the length of the ice. Swift to Baldwin. And Baldwin tries to get a pass up, and it ends up going down into the Hunter zone here. Swift backhanding it back to Baldwin. Baldwin in the neutral. He'll bring it across and dump it in. Martin chasing, trying to get there before Sullivan. As it flips over, Gibbs hands it back to Swift, and now the Hunters will set things up. Cluett, shot on, and that one's just high. And it'll go around the boards there. In deep for O'Shaughnessy to Swift. Swift up, Sullivan trying to get there. And that one's played back down the length of the ice there into the Hunters zone. Just 46 seconds left here on the Hunters' man advantage. Martin bringing this one through. Cuts back. Ludi keeping it at the line. Hands it into Beliveau. Down in for Martin. Back to Ludi. Ludi playing over to Swift with a shot on, and that one almost sneaks in there, goes wide. Beliveau in the corner. Tries to play it down. Sullivan gets there first. Moves it. Swift at the line. To Ludi for the slapper. And it goes wide. Beliveau picking up the rebound. playing that one back in, but it'll hit the netting. And we'll get a stoppage here. We're past the halfway point of the second. Players will take a quick breather, and we'll be back in just a moment for the second half of the second frame. And welcome back here, folks. Players out ready to line up. In the weak zone. Just 13 seconds left on the Hunters' man advantage as they try and tie things up. 10 versus 10 for the draw. That's White versus Urquhart. With just 9:15 left to go here in the second. Urquhart wins it back up to the line. Ludi, a shot and a blocker save from Thorne. McKenzie trying to clear this one. Ludi plays it back in around the boards, and that will flip up and hit the netting once again there. Draw here to the left of Jake Thorne. One back there to McKenzie. McKenzie clearing this one out to the neutral, picked up by Worth, who dumps it right back in as it hits the body and stays in the neutral. Urquhart battling with White for this one. Morris will grab it. Morris trying to cut in. Played up to Bircham, or played down to Bircham, excuse me, in the week's end. McKenzie trying to get a stick on this one, but it's picked up there by Urquhart. Urquhart circling through up to Ludi at the line, to Worth. Urquhart battling, and it's picked up there by Green, and he'll head the other way. Green trying to get a shot on, and it's shut down there. Sim trying to hand it back into the corner. Worth picking it up. We are back to 5-on-5 here as it's moved to Morris. Has some speed, trying to get around Sullivan. Sullivan keeps him to the outside. Sullivan up to Green. Green to Conlon. Walking in, a shot. Save there. Rebound picked up by Ludi. Ludi moving it to Morris. Sullivan trying to intercept that. Now Kalita heading the other way. Looking for an option. Shakes a shot. And it goes wide and around the board. Swift, another shot at the line. Right over the head of Thorne. Kalita trying to move this one. It's off for Conlon. Conlon trying to get it back over to Tanner. Pass blocked there as Urquhart dumps it right back in. Picked up by Kalita. Back for Sullivan, who tries to get it up. That one's played back into the week's end as Conlon flips it into the neutral. Swift with it. To Boudreau. Boudreau dumping that one into the week's end. Up to the line, the Weeks clear it there. No ice. One ref was saying no icing. One ref wasn't. A little bit of confusion between them there. And we'll have it at center ice. It looks like players surrounding center ice. And we will. Oh, I guess my tripod is slanted. I apologize for that, folks. There we go. It's back for McKenzie. McKenzie moving this one over. McKenzie playing it up for Williams, who's hit off that one. Now pushing in, Urquhart. Trying to get it in, but Kidd's there, intercepting that one. Eisner, and a couple bodies go down there. And another couple. Now Kidd with it. Trying to get his speed over to McKenzie, blocked. McKenzie throws it into the corner. Now McKnight bringing it through. Into the slot. Shut down by McKenzie, who gets it up to Pugsley. Pugsley to Kidd. Kidd. Shot. And a big blocker save there from O'Shaughnessy. Kidd trying to play that one out as Kalita will battle for it along the boards. And now it's down in for Ludi. Ludi one-on-one with McCachran. A nice move there by Ludi. Into the slot. Rebounds alive, and it's cleared out to the corner. What a play there by Ludi. A beautiful toe drag to try and get in, and we're going to get a penalty here. Seems to be against the Hunters. It'll be a slashing call. No one's heading to the box just yet. It'll be Urquhart. So Urquhart here, heading to the box. As we go down into the Hunter zone. Weeks power play as they try and extend their lead. Gibbs battling for it in the corners. It's won back by the Hunters in their own zone. Up to McKenzie at the line. McKenzie, shot on. Glove save from O'Shaughnessy. One back to McKenzie at the line. He'll flip it over. Sim looking for an option. That goes way up high. Hits the rafters there. And a little bit of weak spirit here. Fellas. .533 left to go. Love to see it. Kids bringing the balloons in. McKenzie trying to get a shot on, blocked in front. Playing around the boards, and that one slips past. And it'll get stopped there. Now the referee, excuse me, having a talk with John Sim. Not sure what confusion is there. I guess it was offside, okay. So this one back for Williams. Sim handing it back in, up to McKenzie. McKenzie to Williams, on the far board, back to McKenzie. He'll have a look. Cut back and head to the line. And that one sneaks out as Gibbs pressures him. Williams getting back, just 55 seconds left on the Weeks man advantage. Sim cutting back, and Gibbs blows a tire there. As the Weeks played out now. Frazier playing it over into the slot for Kidd, who's shut down there. Shot on by Sim, battling for it. Bodies go down there. Gibbs doesn't like that, so he'll get in there. Kidd holding him back, and now Fluid holding Kidd back. Dancing around in there. Love to see it. Pots and pans being used for celebrations here. Cheering on the Weeks. We get some fresh legs out there. No penalties being served on this play. One back by the Hunters. Swift trying to play it out, and that'll go up and hit the netting. Played back to the line. Burcham hands this one into Conlon, who handles that one back. Conlon to Burcham. Back to Conlon. He'll walk in with a shot, blocked in front by Beliveau, who clears it down the length of the ice. A great defensive play there. Burcham back for it. Skating around the Weeks goal, excuse me. He'll cut through into the neutral. Burcham handing it off for Croft. Croft, shot on. Covered up there by O'Shaughnessy. And some more dancing in front of the net. Draw here in the Hunters zone. As the Hunters win it back, getting this one out. Morris making his way into the Weeks end. He'll flip it around the boards. Lead around. Morris trying to keep it in. That one stays out. And the Weeks will bring it into the neutral. Trying to break into the Hunters end. McCachran playing that into the corner. Fired down the length of the ice. Gibbs trying to beat the icing, and he will, as Sullivan holds him into the boards. And the ref will call this a hand pass. Sullivan mad about that one. Pleading his case as the captain of the Weeks. Have a draw here in the Weeks end. Draw here, one back by the Weeks. Croft bringing it through. Shot on. And it's covered up there by O'Shaughnessy, who has now faced 28 shots before the end of the second period. Playing absolutely outstanding. Hunters getting just 7 shots on to Jake Thorne of the Weeks. But still an extremely close game, goal-wise, 1-0. Williams dumping that one in. Trying to get this one up and over. Rebounds alive in front, they're smacking at it. Still alive, bodies down here. Oh my Lord. And it pops out there, excuse my laughter, that's great. You love to see the effort in from everybody. Now Boudreau getting this one out into the Weeks end. Williams along the boards, trying to flip this one out, up to the line. Boudreau, a shot, goes wide. Round for Swift with a shot on. Martin looking for an option, gives it up to Urquhart along the boards there. Urquhart, pass, intercepted there, and thrown back for McKenzie, who with a beautiful pass gets it to Kidd. Back to Kidd, to Frazier, back to Kidd, and they fan on the 1-T, the 5-pass play. Kidd can't bury it, another shot. And it was Croft, not Frazier, excuse me. What a play and a great opportunity for the Weeks. Burcham, a shot on. Tipped high. Green playing it around. Boudreau trying to get there. Kidd cuts in with a nice move. Another shot on. And it's covered up there. And the ref having a talk there with Boudreau after the play. With a little nudge he gave to Kidd to get him out of the crease. Draw here in the Hunters zone with just 1:27 left in play. Ludi playing it back for the Hunters in his own zone. Trying to put this one up. Intercepted there. Sim battling with Ludi forward in the corner. Urquhart grabbing it. Trying to move this one out. It'll go into the feet of Kalita, but McKnight brings it in. Turned over there. Tanner back in his own zone for it. Now Sim the other way. Bringing this one in over to Sim in the slot. He's shut down there, and we're going to get another Hunters penalty, excuse me. Shot on. Burcham keeps that one in. Conlon cutting in the corner. Conlon moving that one to Sim behind the net. Sim to Kidd. Shot on. He fans on that one up to Tanner. Tanner shot. And a glove save there from O'Shaughnessy as the Weeks will head to a power play with 38 seconds left. Draw here in the Hunter zone. Trying to push this one back. Boudreau gets it and clears it out immediately. A great defensive play there. So it is Worth in the box for slashing. As Frazier brings it in now. Frazier plays it into the slot over to Sim, and that pass goes into his feet. Kidd picks it up to McKenzie. Takes a shot on, tipped in front by Boudreau and out of harm's way. Sim behind the net. Cutting around, Sim into the slot. Rebound is covered up there, and with just 1.5 seconds left on the clock. And again, it's almost like a parade. .5 seconds left on the clock here. And the Weeks have an empty net as they will go for the quick shot there. And it's pushed through by Cluett on the draw. And that'll end the second period. No goal scored here in the second, as it remains 1-0 for the Weeks heading into the third and final frame. Weeks will start next period with a 1:22 power play. We'll be back in just a moment with that. And welcome back here, folks, to the Pictou County Wellness Center. Third period action about to take place. Weeks versus Hunters. Weeks lead by 1. And they'll start this off with a 1:22 power play. Here we go. Dumped in quickly there by Boudreau. Into the Weeks end. As McKenzie tries to bring it out now. Sim with it. Bringing that one across Red Hill, dump it in. Gibbs trying to get this one out. Kluwett's there. Kept in at the line by Kidd to Sim. Back to McKenzie. Down in a shot. And it hits the netting as it's tipped in front there. Draw here now in the weak zone. As they battle for it up to the line for McKenzie. McKenzie playing that over to Sim, back to McKenzie. Down in for Kidd, who fakes the 1T there, gets it right back. Nick McKenzie, a shot blocked in front, goes wide. Frazier battling for it. Gives it to Sim in the corner. Up to McKenzie. Takes his time with it. He'll start to cut in into the slot. And what a goal! What a play! Weeks go up 2-0 as Croft gets another one, showing folks why he's the first star of the month. A beautiful setup from Nick McKenzie. Draw here at center ice. Weeks up 2-0 right at the start of the third period. Battling for it off the draw. Martin gets it back. Move to Ludi. Ludi carrying this one in. It's off for McIntosh, who plays around the boards. Kept in there, shot on, blocked in front by Tanner. Tanner saucers it to McIntosh, but that'll go down the length of the ice. No icing on this play as Ludi gets back for it. Ludi. Boudreau. Starting to break this one into the neutral. Into the Weeks end now. Boudreau there along the boards as they try and move it up. Pugsley. Moving it over to McIntosh. Back to Pugsley. He's walking in a shot. And a glove save from O'Shaughnessy. Draw here in the Hunters zone. Kluwett will get kicked out of this one. Baldwin will come in to take the draw against Sim. Sim battling for this one. Boudreau in there as well. Gets it to Kluwett. Kluwett bringing it out now. Kluwett making his way in. Shot on. Rebounds alive in front for Baldwin. He'll cut back around. Moving it to Kluwett on the other side. Kluwett takes a shot on. Blocked in front. Burcham playing this one out. Frazier, a nice pass up to Conlon. Conlon's in. A shot and a save there from O'Shaughnessy. A big stop as Conlon was in. Big offensive player for the Weeks. Draw here in the Hunters zone. One back by the Weeks, but it splits in between the D there and goes down in to the Weeks end. Thorne playing it. Moving it around, it's Burcham. Burcham gets hit off that one by Kalita. Now McKnight playing it in, and that one almost snuck by as it was a covered shot in front, I'm trying to say. Now Croft picking up the rebound. Kidd moving this one out. Rushing down the ice, Worth gets there. Moves it around for the Hunters. Kalita trying to play that around, Green intercepts. Green to the line for Williams, a shot. And a blocker save there from O'Shaughnessy. Hunters the other way, trying to set something up here. McKnight playing it in, Urquhart dumping that one in, but it's blocked there. Going right back out to the neutral. Green trying to gain possession. Hit off that one, now Kidd. Working his way in. Ludi on his tail. Ludi keeps him up to the outside. And it's played around by Swift to the line. McKenzie for Kidd. Kalita grabs that one, but McKenzie dumps it right back in off his stick. Weeks head off for some fresh legs as well as the Hunters. Now Ludi crossing red, he brings it in. Along the boards, a shot on. Goes high and around. And he's taken down there. A little bit of a tangle up behind the play. As this one's in to the week's end. McKenzie. Williams. Playing this one through. McIntosh. Up for White. White playing it in. Behind the Hunters' net. Gibbs picks it up and he'll clear it down the length of the ice. Morris trying to get there. It'll be a Hunters icing. .52 left on the clock here in the third period. Weeks lead 2-0. Shots 35-10 for the Weeks as well. Draw pushed back by the Hunters as they try and get it out. It's up to the line for Sullivan. Shot on, goes around for Swain behind the net. Swain moving it to Tanner, and he can't keep that one in. Sullivan will race back for it. Sullivan firing it off the boards, and it's down back in the neutral zone for Frazier. Trying to play that one over to Sim, a little far ahead of him. And a big hit in front of the boards there. Goes to Frazier, he's in. Nice move and a shot. Gloved up by O'Shaughnessy, who's been standing on his head. Both teams will get some fresh legs out there. 15-20 left to go. Draw here in the Hunter zone. As the Hunters clear it out into the week's end. No icing on this play as it's moved to Pugsley trying to hand it off. Now Cluett into the slot for Boudreau taking a shot. Rebound is alive, battling at it. It'll stay out and go to the corner for White. And on to net, Thorne makes the save there. McIntosh and Urquhart battling it out there. Comparing parlays, probably. Draw here in the week's end. One back by the Weeks as they try and play this one out. It's up for Croft. Croft walking in again. A shot. And that one stays out. O'Shaughnessy with a big save. Up to the line. Bertram keeping it in. Croft down there and battling it out with Baldwin. Hunters not happy about that, looking for a call as Croft gave a couple extra jabs to Baldwin on the floor, or on the ice, excuse me. Now Swift playing it back. This one's dumped in on net, gloved up by Thorne, and he'll keep it there for the stoppage. Draw here in the week's end. McKenzie getting it to Williams. McKenzie battling for it in the corner. Up for Eisner. It's a 3-on-2. Boudreau trying to get back. Eisner trying to play it through, but Worth shuts him down there. Now Martin the other way. Saucers it over to Urquhart. That play's broken up. Williams racing for it, trying to get past Worth. He'll poke it past, but a little too far ahead there. And it's covered up by O'Shaughnessy. Draw here in the Hunters zone. Sim trying to win it back, but it's pushed back by McKnight. Swain battling for it in the corner. Moved up, McKenzie a shot and a blocker save, or excuse me, hit McKnight in front. Sim now in the corner, gets it around for Swain. Swain circling, loses a foot there and gets back. Now Urquhart racing forward. It's a 2-on-1. Urquhart, Kalita. Urquhart plays around the board. Swain hitting him off it. Good defensive play there by Swain to get back and shut that one down. Ludi, shot on. That one goes high and flips under the back of the net. McKenzie moving. Swain handing it up to Sim. Sim getting it to Frazier. Frazier walking into the corner. Hit off that one by Ludi. They're still battling for it. Sim pokes it out. He'll take it. Sim hitting to the boards there by McKnight. And it's played out to Sullivan. Dumped in there by Swain, who was hit there in front of the bench by Urquhart. No call on this play. Refs seem to be letting a few things slide here, as this is played into the weak zone by the Hunters. Urquhart and Kalita chasing. Tanner trying to play this out. Pugsley over to Sullivan. Sullivan moving that, and Conlon can't get his hands on it, and we're going to get a penalty here.
It's time for Rangers Green Energy Power Play.
And it looks like it's going to be the Hunters heading to the box. We'll see who. Swift in the box. And it will be a Weeks power play. Batting for this one back, Ludi in the corner. Moving that, McKenzie can't keep it at the line. It'll go down into the Weeks end. Moving that one out is Kidd into the neutral. Kidd can't keep it at the line. This one flies back. Kidd handing it off to McKenzie. McKenzie skating through. Across red. Into the Hunter zone. He's hit off that one. A big hit from Gibbs. And the Hunters clear it again there. Shutting down the Weeks on this power play with just a minute and 11 left. Sim dangling his way through. Shut down the neutral zone there. Shakes his head. Tries to get it back. Martin on his tail. Bircham. Skating around the weak zone. Bircham into the neutral. Up for Williams. Williams looking for an option. Plays it into the slot and Croft can't bury it. Up to the line. Bircham shot on. Gloved up there by O'Shaughnessy. 37 seconds left on this Weeks man advantage. Shot here in the Hunter's zone. Trying to win it back. It's it to Burcham. Burcham over to Conlon. Conlon to Burcham. Down in for Williams. Shot on. Blocked in front by O'Shaughnessy, and he'll keep it. Draw here in the Hunters' end. 27 seconds left on the Weeks man advantage. Hunters trying to clear it. Burcham keeping it in. Playing it over. Shot on. That one goes wide. Conlon couldn't throw that one in, and it exits out back into the Weeks end. Burcham carrying this one out into the neutral, passing it up. Conlon skating through a shot, blocked in front, and that one goes up and hits the netting there. Now just 1 second left on the power play for the Weeks Majors. Draw here in the Hunter's zone. Man advantage over. Weeks trying to dump this one in. It's covered up again there. Draw here again. McIntosh trying to win it back. Morris pushing through. A shot on. And it flips up on the boards. Now Hunter's moving it the other way. Urquhart. Pass intercepted there, but it still gets through. Urquhart a shot on. Gloved up by Thorne. And we're past the 10-minute mark, so we'll get a quick breather here. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back. A halfway point break of the third period, and now we're ready to play the rest. Can the Hunters come back and tie things up? Or will the Weeks defend their lead and move on to the second round? We will see here within the next 10 minutes of play. Cluett a shot on, rebound, covered up there by Thorne. Players will, or excuse me, the Weeks defense will get a change out there. Draw. One back by the Hunters. Ludi at the line. Nice move there. Tipped in front and goes wide. Baldwin playing it in front, and that one almost goes in. What a close chance there. Jake Thorne diving back with the blocker save as Green brings it in. Frazier in the corner playing it up to Burcham. Shoots that one in. And I wasn't sure if that one went in or not. It seemed to hit the inside of O'Shaughnessy's foot. And I suppose it stayed out. Frazier trying to play it over. A big block there. Now it's back for Martin. Martin to Cluett. Cluett poked away by McCachran. Trying to play this one around. Battle for it in the corner now, and Bertram will come out with it behind his net. Good play there by Martin. In front, Baldwin tries to get it in. A big pad save from Thorne. And now Frazier bringing this one in. Nice move there. He's in, and he's tripped up on the play. Right into O'Shaughnessy. Luckily, he was able to get out of the way before Frazier came crashing in there. And I'm not sure if we'll get a tripping call or a penalty shot. Looks as though we are going to get a penalty shot. We will. Penalty shot, always exciting. For Ethan Frazier. A great shooter for the Weeks. A chance to make it 3-0. Frazier working his way in. Coming in on the right side, in. Nice move there. And O'Shaughnessy makes the save, keeping it 2-0. Frazier went in. The backhand forehand attempt. O'Shaughnessy read it perfectly. He's having a great game tonight, and he shuts down Ethan Frazier on the penalty shot. As the Hunters cleared out to the neutral. And that one will be a hand pass against the Weeks. So we'll line up here just outside the Weeks' end. One back by the Hunters, who throw it on. And a stick save from Thorne sends it up into the netting. Seems to be some type of confusion here. Rest having a talk with the benches. And we'll play on. Draw one back, Swift. Blocked in front by Kidd. He'll go down in some discomfort. That one definitely stung. Back up and all right, however, as Beliveau moves it over to Gibbs. Gibbs trying to get it to Urquhart. But the Weeks take possession as this one's played in. McKenzie back in his own zone here. Williams playing it back to McKenzie. McKenzie throwing this one in. Croft trying to get there. McKenzie out of the air tries to dump it back in. And pass call here. McKenzie and Boudreau as they're heading to the bench, sharing some thoughts. Friendly interaction. Draw here just outside the Weeks' end. One back by the Weeks to Tanner. Tanner to Sullivan. Sullivan flipping that one in, and Sim tips it in. Pugsley. Trying to move this one around. Sim's there. Down in deep for Pugsley. Getting some pressure from Worth. They'll go down. Conlon battling for it. Boudreau holding him in the boards. Still battling for it in the corner. Pugsley up to Conlon. Conlon cutting back, moves it to Sullivan. Sullivan, a shot on, blocked in front by Urquhart. Sullivan breaks in to get back. Urquhart on his tail. And Urquhart takes him down, and we're going to get a Hunters penalty here. Burkhart heading to the box here. And the Weeks have a power play opportunity with just 7 minutes left in the third. Draw here. And the Hunters end. Fluid will get kicked out of the draw here. So Boudreau will come in. Weeks win that one back. Williams pushing it into the corner. Swift battling forward. Williams circling around the back of the net. Getting held up by Gibbs. Now Burcham. Over to Williams. And it's poked out by Gibbs there. A great defensive play. Burcham gets it in the neutral. Fires that one over to Frazier, and it'll be offside. Draw here just outside the Hunters zone. One back by the Weeks as Bertram takes it in. Dumping it around the boards. I think we're going to get another penalty here. It'll be against the Hunters. Williams trying to get that one. Sim lets Swift take it there. And Swift will shoot it down the length of the ice. Weeks don't like that. And it's Gibbs headed to the box. 5-on-3 for the Weeks. Draw here in the Hunter zone. One back by the Hunters, and Swift will clear it down the length of the ice there. McKenzie to Kidd. Kidd walking in now, going in wide, cutting around the back of the net. Up for Sim. Sim, it's a Frazier. Frazier having a look, hands it back to McKenzie. McKenzie, Sim. Shot on, blocked in front there by Swift. Frazier picking it up, heading back to the line, down in deep for Croft. Back to Frazier, to McKenzie. Sim, Frazier with a slapper, and that one hits off the pad. McKenzie trying to throw it back in. He'll pick it up, circles back around, gives it to Frazier. Frazier, McKenzie, Sim. He'll cut back up, down in for Kidd. Kidd to Sim in the slot, a shot. Blocked in front there by Boudreau. Now he'll try to take it the other way. Trying to beat Frazier. Boudreau pushes it a little too far ahead. And hits the boards there. Now Kidd the other way. Now it's 5-on-4 for the Weeks. Kidd played over to McKenzie. A shot on, covered up by O'Shaughnessy. Some fresh legs out there. Draw here in the Hunter zone. Tanner playing it back for Conlon. And taken down there. We're going to get another penalty in this game for cross-checking. It looks like it'll be against the Weeks, so Hunters will have a little bit of 4-on-4 time. 21 seconds of 4-on-4. and then they will head to the power play here late in the third period, just down by 2. Trying to keep themselves alive and move on to game 4. Tanner getting that one off the draw, taking it out of the weak zone, moving it up. Tipped by Swift. Conlon racing in for it. He'll grab it behind the net. Conlon up to the line for Williams. That one will sneak out, and the Weeks will have to regroup here as Urquhart dumps it in. Getting back for it, Williams. Circling around to Conlon, and Conlon tries to clear as now the Hunters are on their power play. Swift. Excuse me, Ludi. Playing that one over. Thrown in by Urquhart. And Gibbs will take a hit at Thorne. That one's thrown down the ice. And now Gibbs will head to the box, making this game 4-on-4. One left to go here. Four on 4 for a minute 16, and then Weeks will jump on the power play. Swift moving it to Ludi. Ludi behind his net, skating this one out of the Hunter zone, bringing it into the neutral. Ludi still with it, dumping it in, trying to chase it into the corner. Sullivan keeps him to the outside. Weeks try to break it out now. Sim moving it to Sullivan. Sullivan in for Frazier, and that'll be offside. Draw here will be just outside the Hunter zone. One back. Morris trying to get there, but Burcham gets there first. Into the corner now. Burcham playing it around the back of his net, bringing it into the neutral, giving it to Frazier. Frazier and McKenzie working in. That's onside, thanks to a stretch effort there from McKenzie. Now moving it to Beliveau. Beliveau dumps it in to Morris. Morris hit off that one by Burcham. Sim back for it. Sim playing it off the boards to Burcham. 3 minutes left to go here in this game. McKenzie bringing this one out of the week's end into the neutral, giving it to Frazier. He'll go offside there. They'll have to come back as Beliveau trying to push for it. Sim takes it back into his end. Tanner pushing through into the neutral zone. Tanner dumping that one in to the Hunters' end. Around the back of the net, Worth is there. He'll try and play this one off the boards. Kidd shoots out for Tanner. Tanner back into the week's end. Tanner making a play up to Pugsley. Pugsley, that's taken off his stick by Boudreau. They'll battle for it. Kidd bringing it in. Hands it off. Pugsley. A shot. And a pad save there from O'Shaughnessy. Tanner along the boards, playing that one for Kidd. Back to 5-on-5. Kidd, nice move there, walks in, but that's shut down. Now Martin the other way, or excuse me, Boudreau the other way. Hit off that one there by Williams. Tanner circling around. Urquhart grabs it off him, gives it to Gibbs. That one's flipped up. Kidd there. Now Urquhart in a shot. Trying to push it in. And it's shut down there. Bodies flying. Thorne's back up and all right, as well as Gibbs. With just 1:29, Williams will head to the box here. And the Hunters will finish this one out with a power play. A great opportunity to try and get on the board, cut the Weeks lead in half, and then set something up to tie it. They'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back in just a second. And welcome back here, folks. The last minute and 30 will be played with the Hunters on a man advantage. Setting up in the Weeks end. Can they come back and tie it? As they win it back off the draw. Urquhart up to Baldwin. Empty net. O'Shaughnessy on the bench. Cluett. Shot on. Down in. And Urquhart fans on the 1T. Baldwin grabs it. Moves it over. Swift playing it to Cluett. A shot. And they score! Cluett gets the first one on the board for the Hunters. And they cut the Weeks lead in half. Hunters starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Can they get one more and tie things up? Send it to overtime. In a minute and 13. What a goal there, Cluett. Sniping it right over the head of Jake Thorne. 2-1. Weeks win it back on this draw. Sullivan playing it over. McCachran moving it up to White. Can't get that one on. Gibbs dumping it in. O'Shaughnessy racing to the bench. Weeks trying to play it out. Frazier moving it to McIntosh. And they can't get it to White. It'll go back for Baldwin. Baldwin gets hit off that one by White. Gibbs trying to take White down. No call on this play. Urquhart moving the other way, under a minute left to go. Into the corner, Sullivan trying to get there. Cluett will hold him. Battling for it there. Sullivan trying to hold it against the boards and kill out the rest of this game. Still battling for it. Trying to play this one around. Frazier picks it up. Clears it down the length of the ice. Baldwin couldn't get there, and it won't be icing. 20 seconds left. Baldwin bringing it up across red. He'll dump it in. Back around. And that's thrown down by McCachran. And that's just off. Refs will have to talk things over here. Weeks looking for the draw to be at center ice. They didn't want that one to be called an icing. But 9 seconds for the Hunters to get a goal and tie things up. One back to Swift. Over to Baldwin. A shot in. Martin plays it in front. And the Weeks clear it out. The Weeks will head to the second round of the playoffs. And now hell will break loose in front of the Weeks bench. Sullivan getting a punch to the face there. Hunters won't go out without a fight as they fought to come back in this one. Martin ref telling Martin just to get out of here. Martin will head to the locker room here. Weeks heading to the second round. The Hunters tried fighting back. They scored one to get on the board. But couldn't get that second one to tie things up and punch their ticket to overtime. So now the Weeks will head to the semifinals. shake hands here. A great playoff series, lots of action. Both teams very physical. Made for a fun series. And just like that, final score 2-1 for the Weeks. They'll head to the semifinals for the U18 playoffs. Final shots 45-21. That'll be it for me, folks. Thanks for tuning into this game. Hopefully we will see you for the second round. And we'll find out later who the Weeks will be playing in that round. Thank you very much, folks. And have a great night. You know what? Go Patriots.